Hello, how's everyone doing today? I was supposed to have a guest, but I guess there were some technical issues or something. Hopefully the guest will come on at some point, but I'm not too optimistic because I'm not an optimistic person. Um, well, I guess I titled this video Feminism in the State, but I really want to talk about victim groups in general and what they have to do with the state. Uh, the state wants to get votes and it wants to get people to support it. And the best way to do so through bribery. Is through bribery. And a great way to do that is by getting people on the government dole. A great way to do that is by convincing people that the way to that they're victims, and the way to end victimization is through a partnership and an ally found through the state. The state is your friend. The state is against all oppression. And the state is the answer and salvation to it all. This is sort of a view which I think has a lot of truth in it, and I think also is one of the reasons why the more goodies or the more free stuff or the more extra rights victim groups get from the state, these things never die. There's new programs all the time coming for people who want special privileges that come from state power. It's not about equal rights. If it was about equal rights, then just focus on equal rights. Why this obsession with women's rights or gay rights or black rights or any other group identity? And of course, the people who, generally speaking, I'm talking about the main advocates, who are concerned with feminism or affirmative action or any of these things, they're typically concerned with oppression within their group, right? I mean, you don't just generally see Jesse Jackson talking about people who are not black and oppressed, right? Or feminists talk about people who are oppressed who are not women. And if it's about equality, shouldn't you care about oppression, irrespective of who the victim is? So this is really about, I would argue, wanting free shit from the state, and the way to do that is by saying a certain group has oppressed me in the past, and therefore their ancestors or people now who have, genitalia or some other characteristic different from us has to shuffle in, give us goodies and reparations. And of course, it's not theft. We're just getting what we're owed. So that's sort of the quick point on this topic in a nutshell. Let me just touch, I guess, on words. Feminism is one of these words that sort of like equality means different things to different people. People like Mindy McElroy or people like Camelia Paglia, who I would consider more feminist critics than actual feminists, although they call themselves feminists, although feminists or mainstream feminists would call them self-loathing or anti-feminists, and agree with them, don't really like the word or the label. I think it's important to identify movements with people who are considered pillars of the movements, not some fringe, very small sector that no one even knows about. So when people hear feminism, they're not really thinking of the Mindy McElroy types, which is equality, which is, I'm strong, I don't need the help of the state, and I can do it, and I just want the state to leave me alone instead of extra special privilege. So that's sort of my brief view on that. I know the content's not great because I plan on having a speaker, but let's ignore that for now. I guess what I'll also talk about is that the state, people, well, it's, I often waver. How much is the government uh, influencing people's behavior through propaganda, and how much is government reactive? Because I think there is the view that says, government is sort of this bad guy who deliberately wants to control other people and make people's life worse. I think is a very simplistic view. I think very few people are intentionally malevolent, and I include government as this. I think most people in the political arena believe they're doing the right thing. They're not, and so I don't really care what their intentions are. But I think it is important to, if you portray the other side as evil, I don't think you're going to get a lot of converts, because you don't come across as very empathetic. You don't come across as understanding the other side. It's just very simple. People who agree with me are right, and people who disagree with me must be evil. Now, I think the state does evil things. It initiates the use of violence. But what really distinguishes government is that it doesn't want to engage in persuasion. And not only does government itself, not want to engage in persuasion, but typically the government supporters aren't interested in debate either, right? The famous expression, I don't want to talk politics or religion, right? I would bet that it's rarely that the statists have debated with people and, man, they're just stubborn, they're not going to listen, and I'm so convinced I'm right, and I've tried arguments, I've tried reasoning, and so I'm going to initiate force. Now, that's not excusable, but they haven't even tried that. They're not even interested in debate. In fact, they don't want to hear debate. They don't want their view criticized. They're like a 2-year-old and go, la, 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 I don't want to hear it, la, la, la. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk politics or religion. I have my view, and I don't want my view to be criticized. I don't want to be told that what I believe in is immoral. And if you do, I will be very defensive about it, and I won't be a friend, and I won't want to talk to you. So they're not even interested in debates, right? I mean, watch debates in the mainstream media, and it's not really debates. It's name-calling, it's insult, it's ad hominem, it's all that kind of crap. They're not interested in persuasion because, they're lazy. And persuasion takes brains. Any idiot can use violence. People are always governed by their inferiors. Any idiot can punch someone in the nose. You just have to be stronger than them. It doesn't take brains, right? I mean, maybe you're, Nietzsche said that we hate only that which we find equal or superior. It depends how you define superior. I think there's some truth in that. But, cops, they take an IQ test, police. And if they do well, they don't get the job. Why? Is this an accident? No. Intelligent people are not just going to use violence indiscriminately. Intelligent people are going to say, does this law make sense before I enforce it? Before I ruin someone's life, right? Dumb people are just going to go, well, he told me to, and I'm going to do it. I'm not going to analyze whether it's right or wrong. I'm not going to think whether it's moral or immoral. In fact, I'm just going to be blind and follow the leader and stuff like that. And which brings me on to another topic that I want to talk about is the real appeal and why freedom is not popular. I think the appeal of statism is that there's no personal responsibility, right? If things go wrong, you don't have to blame yourself, and if things go right, you can take credit for it. So it's very win in terms of from an egotistical standpoint, right? I mean, politicians can say, look, if you don't like the policies that I'm doing, don't blame me. People who voted for me, I'm simply reflecting the wishes of the voters. It's selfish of me to impose what I believe. I'm simply imposing the will of the people who voted for me in office. I said, if I'm in office, this is what I'm going to do. And if you don't like it, you should have voted for someone else. But I can't go back on my promise. And so if the policies are disastrous, talk to your voters. So you talk to your voters, and you try to blame them, and you say to the voters, hey, why did you elect these assholes who are bad, who are doing bad stuff? We want some accountability. And hold on a sec. We want some accountability, and the voters say, look, I can't control how politicians behave. I can't control how politicians act. I'm just one guy out of millions. I voted for the lesser of two evils. It's not my fault we have shitty candidates. You know, I was talking to someone, I'm not going to mention names, but I was talking to someone, and I said, if the only choices were between Stalin or Hitler, would you vote? And the person said yes, because one of them is better than the other one, and if I don't vote, one's going to exist anyway, so I might as well choose, you know, the lesser of two evils. And, you know, there's no one to blame. You know, police say, don't blame me. I'm just enforcing the law. And people say this all the time. You know, I have a page which I help run called Statism and Slavery, and it's sort of weird, but it's okay to criticize politicians. It's okay to call cops pigs. When you bash soldiers and criticize soldiers, then you're out of line. And there's always so much defense. And if you read all the comments that people say, well, don't blame soldiers. Well, they don't really say, well, they just enlisted. But don't blame soldiers. Blame the politicians who decide to go to war. I blame both. I blame both. I blame pretty much everyone. The masses who sit back and take it and are not stopping war. I mean, that's happened. I mean, there have been wars that have been stopped because the masses have said, you know, we don't want war. I mean, Vietnam was very unpopular. I think a lot of hatred of that ended the war. I think that contributed to ending conscription. So I blame the passive masses, and I blame the soldiers who decided to enlist. We don't have a volunteer army. They decided to enlist, and it's their fault for enlisting, and it's their fault for following orders. You know, what is this bullshit of they're just following orders? It's not an excuse. I remember when I was a little kid and I would do something wrong, and this cliche, we're probably all aware of it, and I would say, well, he told me to. And what did my parents say? Well, if he told you to jump off a bridge, would you? In other words, if your commander or sergeant or whatever it's called in the Army told you to shoot yourself, would you do it? No. So why do you think it's okay to blindly listen when he says to shoot other people? You wouldn't just follow orders if the orders was to harm yourself, and if you would, you're a retard. But it's doubtful you would, right? If the soldier said shoot yourself in the head, you wouldn't do it. But harming other people, you're gonna. And we have such high standards for children. For a 10-year-old, it's unacceptable to say, well, he told me to. And the parent says, well, if he told you to jump off a bridge, would you? But for adults and for people in their 20s and late teens, that's an acceptable excuse. That's an acceptable excuse. So, you know, I sort of reject that view. Oh, we have a guest. Hello. Long time no see, James. How's it going? I can't hear a word you're saying. Hold on a sec. We have some problems because James is giving me the silent treatment. James can't hear you. All right. Anyway, so I'm going to talk, I guess, until we hear James. One of the appeals, as I was saying before, of statism is there's no personal accountability. The politician says we're reflecting the will of the people. The people say I can't control a politician's act. The people who enforce the law say I'm just enforcing it. The people who make the law say people choose to follow it. So there's no one says it's my fault, right? In anarchy, you know, if you hire a defense agency, it's very clear. You know, if I hire a defense agency to defend me against Tom, and the defense agency screws up, I'm accountable. There's no secret ballot where I'm just one of millions hiring that guy and no one knows who it is and we're safe. It's me doing it. I'm responsible. The defense agency has a contract with me. And hey, how's it going? James.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
That's good. Oh, hold on a second. This is something a little bit screwed up here. Hold on.
Speak a little louder. I'm having trouble hearing you.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's,
All right, whatever. Only hearing part of you is better than hearing none of you. You want to chime in based on any of the brilliance I said so far? I think he's saying you are the sexiest, smartest, and humblest person I've ever seen do a show. Right, James? Is that what I don't really... Okay, okay, now I hear. All right, James, what are you going to say?
hold on a second. Is this working?
It's working. Now talk. We're live.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
Yeah, hold on. Something not right here.
All right, okay, we're wasting time. What are you going to comment, or should I talk over you?
Just talk a minute. Let me see if I can get this going.
It works. Audience, does it work? All right. Anyway, so there's no personal accountability, and that's really the appeal of the state. And, the woe is me, people want the woe is me. There's a lot of sympathy, right? If it's everyone needs a boogeyman that they can blame their problems on, right? Maybe this is even the appeal for anarchy. You could say, woe is me, I'm a victim of the state. Woe is me, and then you get sympathy, and everyone says, oh, are you okay? And people want that. People want the sympathy. They like feeling victimized because not only can they blame their problems on other people, they get the sympathy that comes with that. Oh, you're oppressed. Oh, baby. I'm not saying no one's oppressed. I'm not saying anyone's victims, but there is an appeal to be a victim, and get the sympathy that comes with it. What do you think, James? James, it works. You can speak. All right. I guess he left. Sorry about that. So that's the appeal. You get a lot of sympathy, empathy, and shit like that. And I also want to talk about this thing that the left accuses libertarians of not caring about the poor. First of all, I think if you truly care about the poor, you want to do what you can to not make them poor. Well, telling people that they're oppressed and that they're never going to make it and that there's all these barriers and no matter what, they're going to be screwed is not a real confidence booster. I mean, I'm a pretty a shy guy, and if someone said to me, no matter what, Daniel, no matter what, no woman is going to want to date you, and and you could try, but every woman's going to say no, probably not going to give me a lot of confidence to be good with women. I remember once I went out with a woman, and she didn't want to go out with me, and I said, why not? And she said, well, you don't really seem confident. And I said, well, dumping me is not going to make me feel more confident. Well, you don't really feel confident with women, and you feel insecure, so I'm going to dump you. Now, hopefully, that'll make you feel more confident. So if you tell someone that they're never going to succeed, and they're oppressed, and they're just victims, this is not a great way to rise people up. Taking away people's choices. I don't think you can respect people if you take away their choices. I think that's impossible. And when you take away people's choices, barriers, minimum wage laws, permits, licenses, you can't smoke, can't drink, well, it's not really respectful. I would say the libertarians care most about the poor. Well, we're not sending them to shitty government schools, which squashes their individuality. We're not sending them off into wars to be killed. We're not saddling them with debt through the scam that is college. Saying you care about the poor and making their life worse, I love my wife, even though I beat her every day. I mean, kind of nonsense. Um, so I disagree with that. Sort of like when people say libertarians are selfish. Right. Saying that people should be left alone, that people should have the freedom to live their own life, that's selfish, right? But imposing your view at the barrel of a gun isn't. Saying, this is my view, I have a vision about how the world should be better. If you don't listen to me, we're going to throw you the hoosgow. No, that's compassion, right? Right? That's compassion. Sort of like humanitarian wars, right? What is that line, by Isabella Peterson, the humanitarian with the guillotine? A lot of graves due to people who have compassion and just want to make the world a better place. I'm not really interested about making the world a better place. I just want to make it a worse place, and that's enough for me. I'll be satisfied with that. So that's really enough. And hey,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, how's it going?
Good.
All right, you want to comment based on any of the brilliance that's spewed out of my lips?
I don't think you spewed any brilliance, but I just joined you, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, basically, I talked about, in a nutshell, that the appeal of victim groups is to get money from the state, and that one of the reasons people don't like freedom is that they have no one to blame when their problems go bad.
I don't think it's that they don't like freedom. I think that it's fear. Everybody's afraid because the propaganda machine, which, it starts when you're young. Your parents, just basically saying, well, this is how it is, and their parents told them that this is how it is. And there are some people that are awake, that do understand what this illusion that is called government, these people, what they're all about. But the majority of people are saying, this is how life is. This is what we do. We vote. We have to have somebody to protect us. We have to have cops. We have to have these programs. Otherwise, people will die. I mean, it goes back to this Jan Helfeld bullshit, a fear. And that's all he can say when he comes on and debates anarchists. He talks about, well, and it's what this is he's projecting, right? This is how it is today, right? In an anarchist society, nobody, if you were driving down a road at 100 miles an hour, right, and the people that own the road, or let's say, I'm quite sure there will still be some what they call public roads today, because the people in that geographic area will say, look, I don't think that we should make people pay for these roads. Can we all sign a contract and agree that these roads, and we'll just all, if we see a fucking pothole or whatever, we'll just get out of our cars and fix it, right? Or we'll hire Ernie down the street who does construction to come and fix it. We'll all pass the hat round and put money in, and Ernie will come and do it, or we'll pay Ernie, or I'll pay fucking Ernie, and fuck everybody, right? But it's this, back to Jan Helfeld, it's this thing. This is what happens today. And if you're driving down a road at 100 miles an hour and it's signposted, 50 or 60, nobody's going to come with a costume on and say, I want your license, and your insurance, and I want this and I want that. And if you don't comply, if you don't give them that shit, they're not going to drag you out the car and tase you and beat you and kidnap you and throw you in a cage. Somebody might say, hey, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? And, you might pull over, or you might just give them the finger and just keep driving, right? And then if it is a private road, you're off the private road, and they might take a note of your license plate. And the next time that you come, they might just say, no, you can't drive on this road. Why? Well, last time we tried to tell you that we don't like you doing the speed limit. It's not like they're going to fine you. But this is the fear. This is the fear that people like Helfeld put into everybody. It's this projection, because that is how society is right now under this thing that's called government, right?
Well, I certainly think there's fear, right? And this is true on all levels. I mean, if you're against the welfare state, well, then old people will be eating cat food. Now,
Uh,
first of
that's
all,
that,
cat
that,
food is tasty,
that's wrong.
but
That's not true. That's not true.
of course
Now,
it's not true. Of
no,
course
it's
it's
not
not
true.
true.
It's not true. In this country, right? Because obviously this country at its conception, from allegedly overthrowing the British, um, people took care of people. Some people took care of people who didn't get paid. They didn't want to get paid. Whatever. Um, this country at one point used to be very charitable, and like I say, it's all down to the fear and the brainwashing that people believe, huh?
No, no, it is fear, but I think it's not only fear. I think it's also the sense that uh, I don't want to be responsible for for anything. I want to put my responsibilities on other people.
Some
So I
people,
think it is fear, but I don't think all.
some people have this, but I don't think that's the majority of people. I think the majority of people want to do something, right, and get paid for it. Um, might be just because of the sheer fucking boredom of going out of their mind, right? But I think that the majority of people do want to do something, do want to work, do want to do something that's productive. And if somebody is sick or in need, who's fallen on hard times, then people will, throw some money that way, or say, hey, I know you just lost your job, or you can't do that kind of work anymore, but I've got some work that you can do, or here's some money, or you know people used to take care. I mean, there was do you think that there was fucking nursing homes back in the past? Do you?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't. I don't. I wasn't alive, but probably maybe there was some. Yeah.
I think there were hospitals. I think it was Florence fucking Nightingale that invented this hospital business or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
My grandfather was in the hospital recently, and he said, "Why do they call it hospitals? They're not hospitable there."
Right.
But yeah.
But I mean, there's such a thing that's called, and I know some people don't like it in the anarchist society, but there's something that's called mutual aid and mutualism, and it's where people that have compassion, right, for other human beings, take part and participate in the well-being of people.
Hmm.
And if you think about it, if you were to have insurance and there were charities for the unfortunate people that can't work, don't you think that you would contribute money now and then to that? I know that I would. It's like a double insurance. What if I get that sick that I can't afford an insurance? Who am I going to fall
Sure.
back
I mean,
onto? But if I'm
look,
sending money to a
the number one,
charity,
one of the number one arguments against anarchy is what about the poor? Which means that if this was the
oh, it's
number
not
one
who will
argument,
build the roads.
okay, whatever. It depends who you talk to. Uh, fine. The roads, the poor, whatever. Maybe poor roads. Um, but the fact that the poor is at least one of the top is evidence that people are concerned with the poor. Otherwise, if people truly didn't care about the poor, they wouldn't use that as an objection to anarchy, right? Because if people don't care about the poor, then why would they say, well, what about the poor? They would only say, what about the poor, if they want to make sure the poor are taken care of, which means that if the government doesn't take care of them, wouldn't someone else?
I think the
Unless you're just
number
full of shit and you
I
don't really
think the
care
nu-
about the poor, emotional manipulation.
I think the number one argument is the fact that people seem to think, and it's because of mainstream media, right? I think it's the fact that, well, there'll be chaos, there'll be mayhem, people will be going around fucking smashing things, killing people, raping women. In today's society with government, we don't have that, and that's the fear. Because, and I've said this before, I've said this many times, when you see something like the G8 summit, or some political thing like the Bilderberg or whatever, right? And there's people, idiots, running around throwing garbage cans through shop windows and overturning cars and setting them on fire and fighting with the police. Guess what? Anarchists today at the G8 summit or the G20, you know, did all this. This is anarchy, and this is what is told to people. It's it's this same bullshit. John Birch Society, right? I don't know why I'm giving them credence. John Birch Society. They have a video about the political spectrum. Have you seen it?
No. What do they say?
Well, you have to go on. Look it up. Something about the political spectrum. If you go on YouTube and type in John Birch Society political spectrum, it's a long video, but I believe somebody's actually cut the part out of it. After the show, I'll see if I can find it and I'll send it to you. But anyway, they talk about anarchy, right? And they say something on the lines of, yes, it's freedom, but like there's a problem. What about when you leave your house and you go on vacation? People will come and rob it. So even people like this who claim freedom, and it's this limited government, as Jan Elfeld would say, limited government, limited. And we're cushy. We've got it cushy here, Daniel. We've got it cushy.
Why would it be limited? What benefit does government?
No, that's what they talk about. But they say that, if you went on vacation, right, and it's anarchy, somebody's going to come into your house and steal all your shit. And that's not true. Why you've got fucking neighbors, haven't you? You could get them to come and watch your house. You've got friends. You could get them to come and watch your house. Or if you want to, you could hire, right, a security guard or a couple of security guards or whatever. I mean, today on fucking Craigslist, people put advertisements out there, right, for house sitters while people go on vacation.
Yeah, I want to trust some stranger on Craigslist I never met.
But they do. They do.
I wouldn't do that. Come on, people get murdered on Craigslist too.
You're just fading into Jan Helfeld's bullshit right now.
Hey, I'll have sex with you and then they get murdered. Like that woman. No, I'm not kidding. That woman advertised for sex unless she killed these people.
You're talking about the Craigslist murderer or whatever it was?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, people look after people's houses,
Yeah, you pay them. But they're not going to do it.
Some people do. Some people do get paid. Some people, just because the food and they've got a roof over their head, they'll do it, right? I mean, sometimes they just, ask them for their information if they've got a driver's license and stuff like that, and they do a background check on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm not saying I'm not saying that that's the answer. I mean, it's a whole argument about stateless society that one gang will attack another gang, right? What about everybody else that's walking around, right, that doesn't or does hire security companies? Aren't they going to be armed? Those that want guns, aren't they going to be armed? Don't you think that some of these people could stop this from happening if one security company did try to? But it's not.
But look, part of statism, one of the requirements to be a statist is you have to be contradictory and inconsistent. So take people who believes, well, we need guns to prevent government tyranny, but we need government because without it, everyone is going to rape and kill. Then why would you believe there are?
Whoa, no.
If you trust people,
but no, they don't. They don't truly believe that they need guns, and I'll tell you why. And I've asked many people this, right, that are part of the NRA, and they're members of the NRA. They have guns. These people, right? I said, if government passed a law tomorrow, right, saying that you had to hand in your guns, and a cop knocked on your door, and it was law that you had to hand in your guns, would you hand in the guns? And he said, yeah, I'd have to. I was like, why? Because it's the law.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's most people. Maybe that's a few you met. But I would say that there is a contradiction in saying, well, the more an armed society is a polite society, on the one hand, and on the other hand, we need government to monopolize the use of major weapons because we can't trust people, right? We need guns to prevent government tyranny, but we also need government to protect us from non-government tyranny. right? You see what
Well,
I'm saying, James?
yeah, I mean it's a contradiction, but the fact is that these people, even though they think that they have a right, right, they get these rights from a piece of paper,
Yeah,
and they don't think that just because I want a gun, I'm having a fucking gun.
right.
And it doesn't matter who you are or a piece of paper or whatever. I have a right to defend myself. And if I can defend myself with a gun, right, then I'm having a gun. Just because I say, right? Because there's no authority but yourself.
Right, right, right. I mean, you know, I mean, there's all this absurdity with. I mean, we could talk about guns if you want, but I mean, look, when a cop advocate for gun control, don't say and act all collectivist. No cop should have guns now. They say, blame that cop.
No.
But if a person shoots up a school,
No, they don't even do
that's
that.
now,
They don't even do that. They don't even do that. No, they don't even do
they
that.
do.
Because the majority of people say that if a cop kills somebody, that person was probably doing something wrong. The person that
Right.
he killed was doing
That's
something
true.
that
But
wrong
I'm saying,
that the cop shot him, and it's okay.
right. But I'm saying that, let's say, they see a video where it's clear it's police abuse. Sorry for being redundant by saying police abuse. But, yes, so there's police abuse, and we'll say, well, it's that cop's fault. They're not going to blame all the cops. But if a guy, shoots up a school, now, it's gun owners. Right? I mean, Elliot Rodger kills
No,
someone.
it's not. It's not gun owners. It's not gun owners. It's not gun owners. It's let's blame an inanimate object. Let's blame. It's like saying that forks forks and spoons make me fat. Let's blame a gun, right? We should
Sugar,
ban guns,
spoons.
right?
I
It's not
thought
about the
sugar.
person. That's what I'm saying. The costume with the fucking sign or the badge makes it legitimate in everybody's eyes. So we don't take away those guns. We don't take away these fucking megalomaniac. They don't want to take away the megalomaniac, psychopathic, authoritarian.
AK-47s, to be against ownership of AK-47s is extreme and crazy, but to allow nuclear bombs by government is intelligent.
That's fine. That's
right?
fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's what they want. It's here to protect us. It's for the betterment. It's for the betterment of society.
Government's only killed. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, government's only killed hundreds of millions of people. Come on.
Look what happened up in Boston when they went into people's houses, and they
and
had
everyone was dancing in the streets. How pathetic was that?
Militarized police.
Government's instituted martial law. They were dancing in the streets. They were like us yesterday. They were like you yesterday when you were shirtless in the Google Hangouts video. They were like that.
Yeah. Well, I would have set fire to myself.
Huh?
You should post that video of us. Huh?
No one gets that joke, James. We can't say. Shut up. Now people are confused.
You should post that video, man.
James, okay, for people who want to know what we're talking about, James and I made a video yesterday where this guy lit himself on fire in protest. And I said, well, that's retarded. Why don't set fire
to the bad guy?
Bad guys. Why don't you set a bad policeman on fire? And James edited it with the Doors, "Come on, baby, light my fire," of me just saying, set a cop on fire, set a cop on fire, and it was like a commercial, and then afterwards it said, come, set a cop on fire, like an advertisement.
So anybody that's watching this video, right? Contact Daniel on
Report
Facebook
us to the
and
authorities.
tell him that you want to see the video, and he has to post it to his YouTube channel. And if he gets more than 2 people asking for him to post it to his YouTube channel, he's got to post it to his YouTube channel.
If I get more than 2 people, I'll do it. But if I get fewer than 2, I'm not going to do it. So.
Oh, wait a minute.
And, you know,
Here, well.
majority rules, democracy.
Huh?
Majority rules, democracy.
Let me try something here. Oops.
What are you doing, James?
Oh, I'm going to see if I can screen share it.
Actually, yeah, you can. Let me. Huh?
Are you going to play it?
That would be a good idea. No, can you?
Yeah, hold on. Why can't you play it?
Well, it's not downloaded. Let me see if I can screen share it. How does that work?
Hold on a minute. Let's see if I can do it. See if I can play it right here.
Fine. Well, I'll talk while you figure that out. Oh, yeah, here it is.
Oh, you got it?
I'll do it for you. I got it.
You going to screen share it?
I think I got it. Hold on. You see it now?
Yeah, I can see all your files. Just play it.
Oh, my, hold on. I'm trying to find it. Here it is.
It's right here at the top.
I'm doing it. I'm clicking it. It's not working. All right, whatever. I'll do it later.
Nah, I'll do it now.
It didn't work. Huh?
Let me see if I can
here
do
it is. Start screen share. I got it. Whoop, didn't work. All right.
It's working. What are you talking about?
You don't see it? You see
I can see it. Yeah.
You see it or you just hear it?
I can see it.
All right. If you were going to set someone on fire, they could be the bad guy. Set a cop on fire. Set a cop on fire. I would not set myself on fire. Set a cop on fire. All right. Thank you, James. James loved that video. He was laughing for 10 hours yesterday.
You were laughing too. You said that you almost pissed yourself. You had to go to the bathroom.
I don't think I said that.
Yeah, you did.
I haven't pissed myself in days, James. Anyway, what were we talking about? You got me distracted.
Oh, you were talking about...
only 2 viewers. We have 7 before. 3. Good.
You were talking about wanting to set cops on fire or something, and then try to get involved with Christopher Cantwell.
You're gonna get me arrested, you know?
No. Why are you gonna get arrested?
Who knows?
Don't you believe in freedom of speech?
Oh yeah, we have that in this country, you retard. Yeah, our government wants to ensure freedom of speech.
Who's
any cops watching?
Hey! It's not my government.
Huh?
Don't throw this we and all that bullshit. It's not my government. It's not my government. It's not my government.
Of the United States. I'm sure if Chris Cantwell watched that, he agrees. But you know,
Chris Cantwell agrees with what? Setting cops on fire?
What do you mean setting cops on fire?
Huh? I want to set myself on fire.
Setting cops on That's okay, Lynn. You're an idiot. Anyway,
I wouldn't.
What were we talking about?
I wouldn't set myself on fire.
Let's say a really attractive woman said, "I'll go out with you if you set yourself on fire." Would you?
I'd say, "Fuck you."
Yeah, it's a good excuse. Anyway, okay, we have 15 minutes. You want to talk about anything in 15 minutes?
Anything in 15 minutes? Yeah.
This is the most professional episode I've done yet.
This anarchy, man. Shouldn't you be allowed in anarchy? Shouldn't you be allowed to freely express yourself?
Oh, here. Let me talk about one thing. Let me apologize to Robert Kruger.
Why?
Because Robert Kruger said he said I'm thinking of putting on a shirt something that says the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the Jew.
That's a little bit.
Which I thought was funny. Get it? The needs of the, because it's a play from the Star Trek line. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, and it's the
Yeah.
logical extension of collectivism. And people said, "Oh, you anti-Semite."
Anti-Semite, yeah. Semitism.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone asked me, "Are you an anti-Semite?" And I said, "No, I like Arabs." Anyway.
But I can't eat a full one.
What are we? Okay. It doesn't even make. It's a stupid joke. All right. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's a terrible joke. All right. You want to say anything profound?
Because it's
15 minutes, James.
Something profound in 15
It's
minutes.
not. Yeah. What do you want to say in 15 minutes?
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you too. Okay.
Okay, fine. I don't understand why you're shouting.
I don't know either.
Anyway, back to this. Anyway,
yeah,
back to this gun thing. Yeah, you're right to a point that anybody goes in and kills people in a school where there are no guns, and it's always places where there's no guns that the majority of people get shot. Virginia Tech, Sandy, theater, in wherever it was. There's no guns, right? So and then it's like we gotta ban assault weapons, right? Well, it's okay for cops to have assault weapons and everything, like we said about when they were going the militarization of the police, going through the streets of Boston, going in people's houses, searching them. People, oh yeah, come in, you're okay, you're a cop, come and search. It's just nonsense. People don't understand that, as Alex Jones said, Stalin took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. Remember that rant?
Yeah, that was Alex Jones. He's a nut. He's an idiot. He also says that government doesn't want people to have children, and drinking juice makes you gay.
Yes, well,
so you should ignore him. In fact, I think government probably wants children because future tax livestock and so on.
The thing is, what I was getting at was the fact that this is what dictators have done in the world, right? They've taken guns from people, and then, lo and behold, people are off to internment camps and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
When you don't have some kind of weapon to go up against weapons, basically you're screwed. If you can't defend yourself, if you're in your house and you don't have weapons, and a guy or two guys, come in through your front door and they've got guns, what chance have you got? They can basically do anything they want to you.
Right. That's true. Well, yeah, that's why I just...
Guns don't kill people. Death does.
No, death is when you're already dead, you idiot.
Yeah, I'm saying death kills people.
Kill people.
Yeah, human beings. People kill people. That's guns don't.
Not death. Death is when you're already dead. That's like sugar doesn't make you fat.
It's a fucking joke, you Nimrod.
That's like smoking doesn't make you... Huh?
It was a joke.
Okay, well, I don't know, James. You say a lot of stupid shit.
I don't want the wrong. Whether you all need to fucking lighten up, all you anarchists. Everybody is like so fucking straight and just so fucking like, you can't have fun and joke about it. There's no wonder nobody fucking listens to anarchy. Who are you typing to? Your boyfriend?
No, you're my boyfriend, and you're right here, James.
You're not gay. You're not gay, but your boyfriend is.
You just insulted yourself because I just said you were my boyfriend.
Who's this?
I don't know. Hello?
It says Mike Shanklin.
Message to mobile, so.
I can't hear you. You sound like Stephen Hawking.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to touch on the issue of feminism, but I don't know where you guys were at.
we were all over the place. James is very stream of conscience.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Offer your input. Does this say Mike? Mike? Your name Mike? Mike Shanklin?
No, I must have logged in on the wrong network. Sorry.
All right, I was wondering, Mike, what happened to you? You look better.
Yeah, I'm getting lost.
Anyway, yes.
Hey,
What are your thoughts on feminism?
Well,
Mike's
feminism.
Mike's had a sex transplant. He's looking good.
All right, stop interrupting, James. Go ahead.
Well, feminism is a very heated issue for me. It's one of those things that I'm constantly arguing with people over, as a woman especially, because, a lot of people say, oh, how can you not think that, they're being oppressed and this and that. And when we look at what feminism is, it's not like we can't work where we want. It's not like we don't have the same...
Who's being oppressed?
No one. Well, besides, every person in the United States and
No,
by most government.
Who's saying
Well,
they're being
not everyone.
oppressed?
Obama isn't being oppressed. Lindsey Graham isn't being oppressed. All but about 600.
In control. But you see what my point is, though, that women are not any more oppressed than any other group. And I think that when we label things as feminist or we separate ourselves, it takes away from what we're fighting for, what we should all be fighting for as a whole. Now, a lot of women, they don't just want equality like they claim to want. They want privilege. They want to be privileged because they're women. And, it doesn't make it matter what gender you are. The way I see it is I made a video on this topic, actually, that feminists are like gender nationalists. Like, I'm better than you because I'm a woman. It doesn't matter where you're born or how you're born. You're no better than anyone else, and you deserve no more privileges. And that's the biggest thing with feminism that I've come to, is that they don't care about being equal, because essentially they are equal to men. They can do the same things that men can do. No one's stopping them from doing anything, or at least that I know of. There's this big Hobby Lobby issue going on. That I just really actually started listening and reading about today, that Hobby Lobby will not pay for women's birth control. And I find that ridiculous that they think that someone should be forced to pay for a medication simply because they're a woman. So that's one of my biggest issues with feminism, is that it's under the masquerade that's about equality, when not one feminist can tell me how she is not equal in American society.
It's because people want free shit at the expense of other people.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember once, because I'm a bit of a sexist pig myself, I remember once when I was in high school, a bunch of women in the class were saying, it's not fair, women are getting paid less money than men. And I said, they have to. We have to pay for their dinner when we take them on dates.
Well, that's such a lie, too.
You don't have to pay for anybody's dinner. You could go Dutch. You could go Dutch, or you could say, "Fuck you, I ain't paying, bitch." And you get up, and you walk out, and then she's got the choice of paying or not.
Well, the gender wage.
Right. I'm not getting a second date doing that. But no, I agree with you. I think most of feminism, or any of these victims, that's identity politics, is, first of all, it's only their group they're concerned with, right? Other people who are being oppressed who aren't women, I don't really give a fuck. I'm paying attention to that. Look at the Ban Bossy campaign, which is considered sexist. You remember that campaign where that woman started wanting to ban the word bossy, which I love. Yeah, banning a word isn't bossy. Right? You're only accuse you of bossy being right. But is this your biggest complaint? Do you remember the first thing feminists complained about when Now magazine started? You know what it was? Men were called Mr., whether they were married or not, but single women were called Miss, and married women were called Mrs., so you knew whether they were married or not. This isn't fair. Like, that's your biggest fucking issue?
In all seriousness, I just think it's a distraction from what's really going on in the world. All the wars, all the theft, people being fucking murdered, cops killing people's fucking dogs, kicking in their doors because they've got a piece of plant in their house.
Yeah. Was it a female dog? Was it a female dog that they killed?
Hey man, as long as someone pays for my abortions and my birth control, I don't care about the rest of the world. Because I'm being oppressed.
As long as someone pays for your abortions, did you say?
My abortion and my birth control. As long as you're paying for that, everything's okay.
Why do you have to pay for abortion? Why do you have to pay for abortion? I'll just push you down a flight of stairs. Free. All right.
But yeah, thanks for having me on the last few minutes, guys. Sorry I missed most of the show.
It's all right. We still have 4 minutes. So it's all right. So you must be popular with a lot of women.
No, actually, imagine that. I'm not very popular amongst most women.
Wow.
Well, you tend to get called. There's a number of different things, but it's essentially when someone calls a black person an Uncle Tom. It's essentially the same thing that they try to call me, and I get victim blamer a lot. Because I tell them that I want women to take responsibility for their own actions and defend themselves when put in a situation. Like there's this big argument that we should teach people not to rape. Well, I don't think anybody's teaching people that it's okay to rape in the first place. How about we teach people to defend ourselves? Like Miss America, one of those pageant girls said that, and the feminists just went crazy. Excuse me, you want me to have equal rights, but you're telling me I shouldn't defend myself.
Right. I mean, true feminists.
Get yourself a fucking get yourself a rape whistle.
A rape whistle?
Yeah, here. Get yourself
a
fucking.
To protect you from rape, or is that?
No, it's a fucking Glock. It's a Glock. It's a it's the gun. A rape whistle.
Right. Well, guns are the great equalizer. Guns are the great equalizer. Feminists should be pro-gun.
Exactly.
What better way?
But that's the thing is, it's a big joke, and it is a distraction from what's really going on in the world, to make women feel like they're more important or their rights are above others. So I think that is my biggest issue with feminism, is that it's not egalitarian. There's nothing about equality in there. It's about having female privilege. Check privilege.
Sure. Right. Well, I'm not a fan of equality. I think there should be as much inequality as possible. I believe equal protection under the law, but equality is one of these words where I believe we all have equal rights, but equality in the sense,
Who gets to decide what the law is?
Natural law, James. Natural law, not government law. Calm down. Don't get all red.
I'm not getting all red.
I see you. Anyway, it was great having you guys on. Thank you for making my show not total crap.
Oh, it wasn't crap. I'm going to watch the
it wasn't
rest
crap
of it.
because I was on it.
Fine. We didn't really be warned that we didn't talk about feminism a lot. It was mainly James talking about. It was so brilliant, I don't even remember.
I want to hear more about you setting cops on fire. That's what I want to hear of.
Want to hear more about what?
You setting cops on fire. You should post that video.
Well, if you guys ever need feminism, you know who to ask. So.
Right. Yeah, cool.
But thanks again for having me on. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to watch the rest of the show.
Anytime.
Who are you again?
Mike Shanklin.
Your name's who?
My name is Danny Lawson, so you can add me on Facebook if you want.
All right. I think we're Facebook friends. That's how I gave you the link. But sure. Talk to you later.
All right.
I think that's the end of the show. So
Peace,
I hope
everybody.
you enjoyed it. And if not, what can I do?